welcome into the Halloween stream. As you can see, I'm decked out at my finest. I'm kidding, I actually didn't put in much effort in this outfit at all. I had no time to prepare my outfit, so all you're getting is a rabbit with wine. I am currently nursing a little bit about ranking hantus. So hantus is Malay for ghosts in Southeast Asia. Into that, I will have to do my mandatory what do we call it? Disclaimer. That sounds UBC research study about the VTubing community. So while today's content may not be related to the research topic, if your chat stream may be used as research data, so if you chat with me and realize that you don't want to be a part of this, you can just DM me anytime. I'm okay with that. If you just yeah, that's pretty much the end of my disclaimer. Very simple, right? So today we're going, as I mentioned, to and then we'll touch on ranking ghosts in Southeast Asia, like how scary they are. Yes. So that's what we're gonna do today. Let me check and see if my camera is turned on so that I can go ahead and my neighbors have set up like pumpkins and a whole bunch of stuff and they're blasting like scary music down the road and like it's a really trick-or-treating. I personally have never, I think I only ever tried it once, and I was dressed as Little Red Riding Hood. And I was not a kid, I was already pretty much a young adult, and I was like, you know what? I'd never done trick-or-treating before. Why not try and do that one day? And then, you know what? My friends were like, let's go for it. And I dressed as Little Red, and I'm just like, yeah. Maybe asking for sweets is a little bit too old right now. I'm too old for that. I mean, I'm over like 1,000, I don't know, millions of years old. At this point, I shouldn't even be looking at sweets. My teeth is have on this side. Hi! Here are my hands, as usual. So first of all, I'm gonna show you. So first up, I'm gonna start it soft, okay? Because I realized that I don't have like a really huge amount of like crazy oddities. But I do have a lot of seashells. So I picked this up at Oddities and Curiosities convention that came by my city like a few weeks back. They're really pretty, aren't they? They're like iridescent, really pretty. And I make sure to pick like the full ones. I I personally don't collect anything that's really hardcore in terms of oddities and curiosities because my siblings, I live with all my siblings, appreciate, and I saw a piece of rabbit fur that was so pretty and so soft at a convention. I was like, no, I can't buy this because my siblings wouldn't allow me to bring them back home. So yes, all I have are like dead shells and a whole bunch of it weird. Just let me know because like yeah, I can't tell from my side, so it'd be great if you could let me know. So these are like the shells that I picked up while I was near the Pacific Ocean. I just really like how look at that. Look at that shimmer. Let me see if we could get like a more like clear shot. That look at that shimmer. I love the iridescence of that. So when I was like at near the Pacific Ocean, I was just like obsessed with picking these up. Um, and a few other oddities that I have. How has it? How have you been? How's life? Are you doing? I actually really do love butterfly wings. You're doing so great. I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that. I hope your Halloween is going well. Are you dressed up as anything today? As you can tell, I'm like a bunny. But yes, so these are like butterfly wings. I don't know what butterfly they are, but just love how beautiful like the yellow and blue contrasted with each other. I do want to collect more dead butterflies. Perhaps in the future, not right now. The diorama, a tired grad student life. Oh wait, this is my life. Oh, it's my life too. Researcher, right? So I understand how that feels. Ah, it's tiring. But yes, look at this. Look at this beautiful diorama. I loved how Princess Mononoke looks. Oh, let me just like zoom that in and bring it up close to you so you can see that. Look at how Princess Moon like the from like the movie itself. Okay, but to be honest, this was a bit too expensive. I feel, for such a small diorama. But like you know what? I've got it. I've owned it. I'm just gonna keep it. So those are like a few of like my live things that I have at home. But my most favorite collection, guys. Um, I recently got really into glass collecting. Um, and I mean I'm still amassing it. It's really tiny. But these are like my pet favorites. I love them so much. But first of all, let me show you my first pick. So this is like a Cinderella glass, isn't it? Isn't that pretty? It's like a little glass, a little jar for like stuff. But what some this you might think, oh, this is a normal glass. What's special about it? Okay, on the yellow light, like this light that I have here, it looks white. But if you put this on the sunlight, if you just look at this in the sunlight, it's actually slightly purple. And that purple isn't like a natural color of this glass. This glass was originally transparent. Interestingly, what makes it purple is actually correlated by like element called manganese. And how you can tell it's manganese is if you actually use a UV light like this. Like this is a UV light. And then you basically just turn it on and then you just shine it right at the glass. Focus on that. There we go. Look at that green glimmer. So that is like a really dull, like green shade that once I hold it up really closely that you can kind of see. And that tells me that this is manganese. This is a kind of element that slowly turns I don't know how to pronounce the frequency for that. But this is manganese. Like so that's how you can tell. But people usually confuse this with another. I love this glass. I want to collect more. I got this for $10, but this is not considered like the most special one. I personally like them a lot because I love the color purple, as you can tell from my page. But the most amazing thing, the amazing glass that I've actually ever got is this one. Okay, it looks like a green glass, right? It looks like nothing much, right? But this is actually it's actually a glass tinted. Look at this. Look at the glow. It glows underneath like light. Look at how pretty that is. Look at how pretty. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So, I was asking around online. Okay, I got this at Salvation Army for, was it $5? I think it was $5. At first, I couldn't get this, and then like I didn't see anything in Salvation Army, and I was a little bit like disappointed. But then this lady rolled out with a trolley, and I was like, wait, that looks a lot like uranium. And I was like, need to get this one. And and I was like, when I shone the light on it, I was like, yes, it's uranium. So I went online and checked. This is about 100 years old. Thousand, 100 years. So I'm sorry, guys. When you get as old as me, you see like this is a very unique shape of the mouth itself. Is usually be very nice if you could hold like a single flower. Um, but yeah, it's not so common anymore. So the old ones like this are really nice to come by. I also have two other. Look at them. These are uranium as well. Princess Cup sherbet glasses. So asking online is Hawkins. I could be wrong. It's either Hawkins or Anchor. I cannot remember which one. But this is considered the princess style. That this is what we call the princess pattern. It's considered one of the more common patterns, and especially because like sherbet cups that come in like a bunch, right? Along with like a huge punch bowl. Um, a sherbet bowl or I honestly have no idea what the Americans do. Nice is like ornamental. I didn't want like more than necessary. I know that there are collectors out there that do like a whole bunch of collecting and they collect like a whole amount. I think this shoe would just do me well. But got both I think for 30. But like you know what? It's pretty. It's look at how beautiful it is under the light. Look at that. Look at that. So I guess the main question people are gonna ask me is like, Kilo, isn't this poisonous? Like, wouldn't I die if this is near me? Studies have shown it's actually way lesser than a microwave. So, this is fine. Do if I accidentally smash one of them. But otherwise, I think these are beautiful decorations. Much it for my current oddities collection. Maybe next year Halloween I might have like a bigger collection and I can show you guys. But for now, these are the ones that I have. Let me just put them away real quick and I'll get back to you. Give me your moment. Okay, I'm back. So now we're done with it. Little show and tell. I think it's time for us. Ranking of hunters, Southeast Asia, Vaja. Let's get it. Woo! I'm not sure if you can hear it's like so ghosty. I have to confess, my most favorite festival is actually Halloween. Um, there isn't obviously where I come from, the Cosmos. We participate this year. But um, I don't. I mean, I have no costume. I mean, I haven't rabbit gears. King of hantu. How are we gonna do this? Okay, so I'm gonna show it. So we have a tier list right here from S rank all the way to F rank. I have made like a bunch of ghosts. I gathered a bunch of ghosts, and we're gonna run through them and then like place them on the tier list. If you have any suggestions of other ghosts that you want to include, my research, and I must say it was very frustrating to find out like all about like the different types of ghosts Southeast Asia is, because I get a lot of confusion. Like, a lot of people are like, isn't Japan part of Southeast Asia? Put on spooky music from it's on. Could you not? Not really? Okay, let me increase the volume then. Can you hear it? Is that better? Is this the song you're looking for? Can you hear it? Was this not the monster mash you're looking for? Okay, I have to be honest with you, I have never heard of the monster mash. Okay, I've never heard of this. What is this? Okay, Papa is annoyed. Well, stop fighting him. Something else that might make you happy. But yes, let's get back to it. Ranking of the Hantu, Southeast Asia version. I must say, a lot of like like similar, like they're just variations. It's like, you know how like apples have different varieties? Yeah, it's the same kind of like those people who don't know where Southeast Asia is. This is Southeast Asia, okay? So I have people asking me like, "Oh, Southeast Asia, does Japan part of Southeast Asia?" And my answer to that is no, no, no. Southeast Asia is not any of that. Currently, the current definition of Southeast Asia is including Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Philippines, Brunei, Paris. Look, P, I hate to break it to you, but like Bali is not Paris. East Timor is part of Indonesia. Okay, get out. They have gotten. Yes, they did. They just joined ASEAN. Not as like a member yet. They're moving towards that. But East Timor is not part of Indonesia yet. You saw a real Indo was butthurt. I mean, East, technically not wrong. They're really far east. Unless you consider Australia, well, okay, Australia, people will be asking like, okay, if this is a geographic thing, why isn't Australia part of it, right? So, I don't know. You ask the Australians themselves, why are they not part of Southeast Asia? I feel like this is almost as contentious as the other one, but like yes, uh, honestly, how long is this monster mash? Oh, I guess we're going on with that. Are you from the great nation of Lion Castle, Singapore? Way too long. What is a dinosaur butt? There's a dinosaur butt? Where? Maps. I'm actually very bad at maps. I actually thought the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean were like mixed. I have no idea. I have no idea how to answer, but how come the butt isn't in South? I think you're looking at the wrong thing. I don't think that's East Timor, my dear. That's not. I don't think that's East Timor. I think that's another side of the country that you're not looking like another country that we are not talking about. Okay. You're asking me questions on geographer. But yeah, this is Southeast Asia. We will be talking about like the ghosts that come from this area. So here are the rules of the ranking. Let me switch out the music. Okay, Pop, if you have any music that you want me to play. Okay. So I have chosen eight ghosts from Southeast Asian folklore due to overlaps of stories in the region. Some about like the golden apple. We're not talking about like the Granny Smiths. Okay, we are just talking about the general version of them. The ghosts will be judged on a few things. Firstly, how horrific the background is, how scary the visuals are, and your resourcefulness in haunting. So these are the three that we're going to like. So it's visuals, the background, and how we spot talk before we continue. I have never known that there is so much old scary music. So let's clear. Let's begin with the first, and I feel like it's the most famous ghost, the Pontianak, or in Indonesian and Indonesia. Some people say there are variations in Thailand as well. So the background of them is that they are usually an angry female spirit who died during childbirth. They go after pregnant women out of bitterness, but they also eat the internal organs of men. So this is something that I find really interesting. It's like why eat the internal organs of men? Are men tasty? Why either? I don't know why either. Maybe the internal ones are much tastier. You know, they are like upset, that they didn't get to have a kid. You hope that I have a talisman for tonight. Oh yes, so that's her background. Her resourcefulness is that she can be identified by scent. So either like frangipani flowers, and she means is that if you don't have a banana tree near you, the chance of you having a Pontianak is very little. So I think using this isn't very horror, if we realize. This is jazzy. So that's why people say that when you see a Pontianak or Continental, I'm not used to pronouncing it that way. I'm just gonna call it Pontianak from now on. If you see like a Pontianak, oh no, what they say is they don't look at the trees at night because if you see a Pontianak, there are some accounts that say that if you drive your nail into her neck successfully, she becomes a beautiful, good wife. Let that sink in for a moment. If you drive a nail into her neck, she becomes a beautiful, good wife. I'm not sure about that. Like I, first of all, is it necessary for a woman to be a beautiful, good wife? Chinese ghosts are also famously good wives, at least hot wives. I mean, that's why they have like weddings for them, right? I mean, like, why? Like, so I guess like the kijun, what they call it? I guess the litmus test, no, the stage for you to be a ghost is to be beautiful. I don't understand that like at all. She is a I feel like Pontianak. Let me bring her out. Widow. No, I actually heard that like there were Malay ghosts that are also beautiful. It's like how do I put it? There are ghosts, female ghosts in almost every culture that are seen as and perceived as beautiful. Um, and that's something that I just don't understand or stand by. It's like they need to find like a way of like explaining why people will get like I guess like I feel okay. I have a theory that the reason why they are considered beautiful, which I think they're beautiful, obviously I think they're gorgeous, but I think why they insist on it is because men who actually come back alive from an encounter with them want to at least, show that, they will not being the dumb ones. Only male Chinese ghosts are ugly. Male Chinese ghosts are, I mean, because really, I think in terms of scariness, in terms of resourcefulness, like she is like what do we call it? She basically, if she was in a game, she will be just bound to like a house. Like she can't free roam, she can't like get out anywhere. So I suggest just avoid frangipanis or like trees to see a star, sure. But like why would you want to do that in like a dark, creepy area? You would just walk home, right? F, because there are no banana trees in the cosmos. But we are talking about Southeast Asia. And who says you can't plant banana trees in the cosmos? You can. If you will, there's a will, there's a way. They managed to like grow some weird ass plant on the moon. This is fine. Banana trees are fine. So you're saying F rank? I personally think that she's not that scary. I agree with you on that for nail into a neck. Like I feel that if she was to be scary, if you drive a nail into her neck, she should attack you immediately. Like I think like in terms of scary, she's not that scary to be honest. Yeah, I think D is good. What do you guys think? D? I think D is pretty alright for this. I'm just gonna put her in D until anyone else comes up with a disagreement about that. Okay, back. Ooh, let me just bring that out of the way. There we go. Buddhism is very dominant. Oh, as for you, I don't know. Okay, I hope you remember our rules. How scary their visuals are and their resourcefulness in haunting. So instead of a letter, you can just have a poll. Will not meet any of these fine ladies and gents. Okay, but to be fair, I feel like there's some that you might want to meet because like, why not? Okay, fair enough. Or S tier scary. Okay, fair enough. Fair. In Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, where Buddhism is dominant, it's also really predominant in Chinese. I think Southeast Asian Chinese and maybe even China, I would say, or like creatures who are not able to overcome their greed in their lifetime. They're perpetually hungry. They have like a big like stomach, so they can't eat anything. Yes, yes, in Chinese they call it 饿鬼, 饿死鬼. Yeah, but I don't think they starve to death. They're not starving the ghosts. So they actually didn't die already. They didn't starve to death. They actually become like that only after make you perpetually hungry for life. And basically they live on the same plane as humans. They're not in hell. And so they basically just do like little bit scary stuff, but they don't actually harm the humans. So on this, they are the one there is also another term for it. There is and it's not called 恶鬼节. It's what is it called? Wow, I suddenly cannot remember. But yeah, it's called the Hunger Ghost Festival in English. It's the wrong translation. Um, yeah, but it's called like seventh month. And basically, what people do is they give like offerings to these people. I personally think, they're personally seen as like very like 可怜 or very pitiful ghosts. So I would say if I was on like a tier list, I wouldn't. Don't think this is that scary actually. Huggy Pop, you know. I mean, obviously they were greedy in lifetimes, but do they actually deserve like this? I don't scary in any way at all. Or maybe that's just me. F rank? I personally think that F looks good. I'm good. If I don't want to come across it, it's S tier. Okay, okay, calm down. Instance, if like they don't actually want to harm anyone, as long as they're a ghost, you're scared of it. What if it's your deceased loved one that's like that? Would you still be scared of it? What if it's your deceased loved one? Yes. Even if it's like your most beloved like grandparent, they come back for the day and they look like that, you will still be scared of them? Really? Really? We'll go on to the Orang Minyak. Oh, the oily man. We finally have our first. Yes, 100%. You will be scared. Oh my god. No, that's so sad. My condolences. Endured. Okay, Orang Minyak, oily man. So this particular ghost was scary, man. Well, but they're not zombies. They're ghosts. They can't hurt you. Zombies can bite, but ghosts, you can put your arm through them and you'll be okay. What? Okay, so yes, orang minyak is basically a naked supernatural creature that is considered covered in grease or oil, and they are like completely like slick, oil slick, kind of like black, village beauty. But he couldn't get her, so he made a deal with the devil. Devil said to him that like, oh, if you wanna get her, you need to like. The more he did it, the more he kind of like descends into like the pit of like, holy shit, this is so much fun, and then he basically becomes orang minyak and never gets out of it. I mean, I don't think that's what happens in the movies. Which? You mean the zombies or the ghosts or the orang minyak? Which one are you referring to? No, the men are scared. No, but yeah, oily men. So some people actually speculated actually they could be real people. There have been reports actually that inspiration to like you know prey on young women, which is kind of very very gross to me. But basically, I don't know. But I personally feel like his resourcefulness, they're like slippery. I'm not really sure how can he can turn the doorknobs. How is that even possible? I don't understand. And then they sneak in when the women's buy batik cloth. So apparently, if you throw a batik cloth at this unclothed man and be like, put your freaking clothes on, he dies. I think it's absolutely funny because it's literally like, like the most like useless way of dying is to just throw clothes at a man. S tier disgusting because like apparently he never regrets his decisions and he's cowardly as fuck. Let me drag it out. S tier disgusting. Orang minyak. But I feel like out of all of the ghosts on this like list, I feel like orang minyak is like the least likely to be real. Wait, I take that back. It's the most likely to be real because there have been real accounts of people actually pretending to be orang minyak and going around and doing stupid shit. So actually, I take that back. They're the worst. Nothing's worse than a person masquerading as a ghost. That's why I feel. Yes. So with our first S tier, the orang minyak. Pontianak is in D class because like she's just still a poor lady, and F gets the Perta because I feel like they are like, yeah, no one wants to be in that position. Okay, now we have the orang tinggi, or what in Malay they call. I mean, like both are actually Malay, so it's like a tall man, or they also call it the pole ghost, hantu jala. So like it's found in Brunei and Malaysia. So I had trouble finding out more about this, purely because like it's so hard to find out information about like while they're driving on the highway, they just see the like hairy legs standing at the side of the road. They don't actually see the entire body. Some people say they see in the distance like this really, really tall, hairy man like walking towards them. Is jinn from Arab? Yes. So jinns are so just a little bit of like a background. Jinns are also kind of like they translated into demons, but jinns come from like the Islamic Arabic world, whereby jinns are basically they are neither like they're like spirits that live in a different like on a different plane from humans, and they have the ability to influence human people from what I know, from that limited knowledge I know, um uh humans are actually highly discouraged from engaging with the jinns. If you practicing Muslim, you should never ever have dealings with the jinn. I think that's in some sections of Islam in the Arab world. In Southeast Asia, because we have Muslim countries as well, and also many animalistic religions, they tend to like kind of like combine the two, and there are some Muslims that actually do engage with the jinns and like practice black magic and stuff. But I don't really know a lot about that. I've heard of them before, but I don't really know like what they mostly do. But yeah, Malaysia have a huge Islamic population, so I'm pretty sure that's why they consider them jinns. So that's the warning that people have. If you see a jinn, a tall like an orang thingy, you freaking run because these. So they're also associated with ancient tree spirits. And like basically like in Brunei they have been like lore of hearing them like felling trees in the forest, and if you actually hear like trees falling, you just run because like it's probably a jinn coming towards you. They're undefeatable, they appear randomly and they can like go anywhere. So I don't actually know what how like what you should do, but I personally am pretty scared of like a ghost that's considered undefeatable. um I feel like if I ever see an orang thingy, I would run. Not because like I was scared, but because like I know what they mean. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna be sticking around for that because if I'm not killed by them, I'll probably be killed by some natural disaster. Okay, it's gonna come and take me. So I would say I don't think they're that scary. I actually think they're pretty useful. Like if they come around and they're like, hey, you gotta run. Shit's gonna happen. You better run. Like if a ghost comes to me and they will like tell me that, or like maybe a C. I think it's a C. I think a gin is a C, like a very nice, healthy in the middle. Like I wouldn't be exactly scared by them, I would say. Let's see, where is my image of the Slender Man? Where is here? Oh, there we go. Okay. So there's our list right now. How is it looking? Looks pretty good. I feel like it looks pretty good to me. Let me just have a sip of water. Been talking too much. Yes. So we have our S class, Orang Minyak, we have the C class, the Hantu Gala, we have D class, the Pontianak, and F class, the Pret. So the next, let's see, where is my, there we go. There we go. So the next one we have is the Manganao, Mananangao. So this there is like so many variations. If like the apple tree was specifically referring to this. Anywhere in Southeast Asia, you name it, you'll get a version of this Mangnanangao. It's crazy. Basically, okay. So apparently, in like certain cultures, like in Cambodia and Thailand, they have a male version of a Mangnanangao, but this is specifically the female version of it. So it's an older, beautiful woman that can detach her torso from her legs and likes men for their organs. I don't know why that is such like a specific pattern of behavior from ghosts in Southeast Asia. It's like, oh, we either like the fetuses that your pregnant women have or the internal organ. Like, why? I don't understand that. But yes, so the resourcefulness of a manananggal is that they can fly because they have like in the Filipino version they have bat wings. Okay, there was another version, I forgot the name of it, but another version basically just the head itself with like the entrails of the body like floating around like the will o' the wisps. Um, either one, yes. So when it detaches, the entrails fly too. Yeah. So actually entrails also fly too. So if you're like the Filipino, they only have the head. So the it's the rest of the entrails are just like trailing behind, like little comets. So the Filipino version is weak to salt, ash, fire. I think the Thai and the other versions are all about and look for the lower body. Okay, that's nasty. Yeah, I think it's that freaking scary too. And the worst part is, like this particular like ghost looks like a normal person in the morning. So this person could be the auntie you see at the market across the you know, it could be your neighbor's Shujao that's just running happily in the streets, kicking ball. You know, it could be that, could be anyone. Um, but at night they fly out and they attack you. So that is a manananggal. There is no reason why this exists. Like there has been no mention of curses. There's no mention of any folklore or any reason why they exist. They just do, and that's why I create S here. Um, Let me just break them all out and add an image. Where is my manananggal? There we go. Oh, look at her and the babies that she have covered. So the manananggal is on the I legitimately had the most trouble with the manananggal just purely because it's such a problem. It's such a problem. Goose, what we call the rap ghosts. It is a ghost wrapped in the funeral wreath of a Malay. Generally Malay, because like in Malay, are usually wrapped in a funeral wreath. They are considered unpredictable in nature. So the reason why I say this is not that like one is docile and suddenly goes on a rampage. No, is that pocong comes in many different variations. Like I said, apple tree. Okay. They have like the docile ones that just appear in people's ghosts and be like, hey, can you give me some like prayers and offerings and like maybe help me resolve this thing that I have been like unable to rest in peace because of. And then you have like the Pocong Mera, which is basically like the leader of the Pocongs. And this is a brutal Pocong. It basically like, you know, is doused in red because of the blood that it has. I don't know if it's their own blood or like the blood that they have shared of other people. But basically, if you see like a red color pocong, you freaking run. Actually, honestly, if you see it, you probably be dead by now. They are associated mostly with unresolved issues when they're alive. So I would say the best way, if like you deal with like a pocong, you are lucky enough to get a docile one, is just to address the unresolved issues and help them, and you'll be okay. But if you are like for the pocong meta, pocongs have colonies. Apparently, they have colonies. They gather around banana trees. Again, don't have banana tree. Honestly, I love bananas, but like the amount of like fear that is in Southeast Asia, banana tree also gives a lot of things. So like banana leaf can be used to wrap food. The bananas can feed you. The trunks can be used. Like so much of the problems will be resolved if they just remove the banana trees. Um, but like banana trees are such a huge part of the culture too. So like how I don't understand. But yeah, they like to gather around banana trees, which I think is super cute and very funny. Vampiric cops thingies, the jiangshis. So they only usually harm those that they have graven. But yes, what tier are we looking at for the pocong? Personally, because of the pocong meta, the thing about a pocong is that I actually know of people who have actually seen the pocong and survived, and they were lucky because generally, if you see one, you don't survive. So I would say they are a very good solid A class for me in terms of scariness. Okay, let's see. Let me add the image of it. Pocong. And when I was looking for like pictures of the pocong, there were so many very cute versions of it. I'm very, very sure people actually make like fan art out of the pocong, which I think is so funny to me. Say, okay, there we go. So there is our rank list now. We are now at 6. We have 2 more left to go. We have 2 more left to go. So let's see if the last 2 might fit into any of these categories or if there's like an overlap for that. Okay, see you next time. Have a good sleep. Good night. Let's see. Don't get haunted. I'll be fine. Don't worry. Don't get haunted too. Okay, next is the shui or the hantu are. Which is very interesting because when I first started learning Malay, I didn't know that this is actually found in Myanmar, Malaysia, and Singapore. But I'm pretty sure that there's more places that I didn't manage to add in here, because water ghosts are usually found. Yeah, hantu is ghost in Malay. Yeah, it's an anagram for actually yeah. Um, Shui and like shui it's generally found in places with water, and usually especially people who have drowned. Mentions that like some of them actually like to sing, so they're a bit like a siren as well. So if you actually hear anyone sweeping so the resourcefulness of them is that they accept offerings. I'm not sure they can chase the way because I actually haven't read anything about difficult to find a reason for why they drown. So yeah, I would say that the shui is pretty scary, but like because they are waterbound, I don't think that they're that crazy. As long as you just don't go near water, you're fine. Maybe a bee? I think like this is more like a bee. I feel like it's a bee to me. Let's see. Let's put it down. I do think that this is a bee class. Oh, there we go. Here it is. Here is the water ghost. Here is the water ghost. It's a B class for me. There we go. I think this list is doing pretty alright for now. Okay, let's move on to our last and final ghost. The Pinangrang. This is, I think, I'm pretty sure that's how they pronounce it in Thai. Pinangram. Nangram. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how they pronounce it in Thai. So if they're disrespected, they will force the victim's body into unnatural positions until they break and die. But if they're respected, person and they're not harmful unless provoked. Personally, I like this ghost. Like she might even help you out with dancing. You hope there's a sick theme song when it appears. She mentioned that it is a very like it dances very beautifully, but because of the music, it's traditional Thai music. So when like you actually see it dancing, it actually is very creepy, and actually like apparently a sense of fear actually grips your heart. So people do mention that it might be wise to like not go near them when they're dancing, right? So for me, I personally think that this in on the tier list where everyone else sits, it's an F class for me. I personally don't think it's that scary. The peanut is pretty okay though. I mean, it looks scary in this picture, but I mean, as long as you don't like treat them badly, I think it's fine. No, you don't think so? You think that it's scarier? Oof, but deserve. Oh, I mean because you're new in here. S class is the scariest. F class is the least scary. The orang minyak, basically the oily man. Um, the I hope so in S class. That's the one with like the head flying around with like the intestines and stuff like around the body, and they go after like pregnant women. Is A class is the pocong, which can be found in Malaysia. It's the one that they wrap in the funeral. I personally find them one that I feel is the scariest. Because like the other ones they have no reason, very more reason, but they'll just like go after you and attack you. I have heard of like people saying that if you see a pocong merah, or at least a pocong in general, you're just probably gonna die. You will not stand. It's scary because it's near the water and it'll drag you down. But I feel like as long as you avoid the water and if you hear someone weeping, cry around. C class is like the slender man, or what they call the hantu gala hurt you. They just tell you when like shit's gonna happen and then you just run and you'll be fine. So I think that they're good C class. But if you don't go into the water and if you don't hear like weeping and like singing, you're fine. If you hear weeping and singing and then you like, C class is the Slender Man. orang tinggi. Basically, they are like a huge, tall demon that goes like that appears randomly. And if you see them, you better run because it means that something bad's like, an earthquake's gonna happen here. We need all of you to evacuate, and people just scream and they run, and they basically achieve what they set out to do, which is to warn them. So I finally feel that they're not that scary. I think C class is a pretty good one for them. D class is the Pontianak or the Kuntilanak. I find the Indonesian one so much harder to pronounce. Kuntilanak. In essence, they are just women who are looking to seek, uh, find like a reason to survive. And I guess that's why they are so bad. Ghosts are the one that are scary for no damn reason. Like they're being the way they are for no damn reason, And I felt then maybe the Shaker shouldn't be in B class. Yeah, maybe I'm changing that. I'm changing that. People who get drowned, they are wronged, right? So they're not that scary. D class it is then. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. E class is nothing. F class is the preta, which is basically a hungry ghost. They don't actually have any substance. They don't actually do anything. They are basically just, pitiful ghosts that just wants to eat, but they're not able to eat. So I would say F class for them. F class also goes the Pinam because obviously it doesn't hurt you unless you disrespect them. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's the tier list. That's the tier list of like all of the ghosts that I could find in Southeast Asia. There are obviously more. There are way more than just these eight. But like I said, ghosts in Southeast Asia are varieties. There are so many varieties of the same apple that if I were to catalog them all together, it would never end. And how I put them, apple ghosts? No, I'm not tacos. Okay. So like, I know how apples have varieties like Granny Smiths, golden apples, just apples. Ghosts are the same. In Southeast Asia, when I was researching, this is what I realized. There's floating head, either with bad wings and a torso, without the bad wings, without a torso, but always with the intestines hanging out, flying at night, vulnerable body. Everyone has a name for that particular ghost, but it's all different. So they're like different variations of the same apple. So they're like different variations of the same manananggal. Which I find really very what a combination. Yeah, indeed, it is really a different combination. So yeah, that's why I'm saying. That's why I said that ghosts are like apples. It's crazy, I know. It's crazy. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. That's all I actually prepared for. But I hope you like the set. I made like I have like little bunny ears. Have a glass of wine. Put them there. Right, aren't they cute? They are really cute, aren't they? I feel like keeping them there forever, but that's probably gonna decay after a while. Regarding ghosts. But then again, it's also because, like I said, apples. There's only so many apples in the world. I mean, like, there's so many different types of apples in the world. If I go through them, it take all day. So when I put them under like this umbrella tree, it's just going to be the same thing. Love the bunny ears and pumpkin. Thank you. I love bunny ears too. I think bunny ears are my favorite. I might keep them on forever, actually. I don't have anything else, to be honest. I could continue knitting, but you know what? It's Halloween. I think people should be going out to have fun instead. Mm, yes. So I guess I'll just end here for today. Also because my voice is breaking and I need to rest it. I will probably, oh, but speaking of the stream, maybe like some like more housekeeping matters. I will probably be going back to Animal Crossing and finishing up and doing like knitting next week. So a little bit more chill, nothing too crazy. Um, I will probably be also, I think if you checked out my Twitter, you probably realized that I also mentioned that I will be doing unofficial streams. So these unofficial streams just showcase like, and like just like, do some knitting, minimal talking. So it would not be like this and me talking to the screen all the time. Instead, it would just be me doing like knitting, doing readings, maybe doing some work on stream, just so that you can get a sense of like maybe like especially for like knitting projects, they're really long, right? Get a sense of like how it's like. You're free to join me to chill and vibe, but I will here. I'm glad to have you guys around. But yes, so look forward to the unofficial streams. I wouldn't post about them in the schedule, because they are, like I mentioned, they are ad hoc, right? So I'll probably just do like a small announcement on Twitter and threads from time to time, like, hey, just streaming now. But you can come and join anytime you want. Yes. I think that's pretty much it for the housekeeping matters. Let me just read my final statement and I'll be done. The usual statement, just note that the stream, as with all matter streams, are part of UBC research study about the VTubing community. While today's content may not be related to the research topic, if you chat with me via chat with me and realize that you don't want to be a part of this, feel free to DM or email me at any time. Last statement, yes. You just so that's it for it today, guys. Thank you all for joining me today. Have a very good evening. I'll see you all next Wednesday.